The president announcing $11 billion tariff relief, $11 billion in tariff relief for farmers, all while he signs an executive order to crack down on price fixing in our food supply. How powerful do you think this is going to be as a 1-2 punch to getting some of those stubborn food prices down, like, I don't know, beef?
Yeah, the price fixing, that's kind of tricky. And I think most free market economists would tell you don't want to get into the business of telling producers how much they can charge for something, only because then it starts turning into a slippery slope. And I can take you back to the 1930s. Anthony Schley's wrote a great book on this called The Forgotten Man. And it was all about the FDR economic policies that were so darn lousy, all designed to protect people. So I think he's got to be pretty cautious with this. Maybe he's throwing the farmers a little bit of a bone here. We'll see. But, the jury's still out. Look, he's proven a lot of people wrong on some things. I do think, however, when you start getting into the business of saying, I'm going to fix a price and you can't go above that price, you're running the risk, like Mamdami's running, right, in New York. He's going to fix rents. Well, who the heck is going to want to then build a new building? Like, who's going to want to buy a new farm and put more agricultural products into the market? So it's a difficult thing he's going to have to balance.
Despite left-wing states like California proving billions of taxpayer dollars, or providing, I should say, billions of taxpayer dollars to illegals, Tim Awal's Minnesota has become the poster child for Democrat fraud, and even the Democrats' support for enemies of America, as the Trump administration is looking into Minnesota's fraud with taxpayer dollars going overseas to fund groups like Al-Shabaab. Address Tim Awal's first, his political future, and how Minnesota's reputation for corruption might stop people from wanting to do business in that state.
Oh, listen, I mean, this is an unbelievable story to me. We led the show with this both today and Friday. I've done a lot in my career and actually won awards for some of my long-form documentary work on terror financing. And this, to me, it's like follow the money, for goodness sakes. I mean, this is an unbelievable story. And I'm so glad we get smart people like Besant there at Treasury who came out over the weekend and said they are investigating this. And don't forget, his department, Treasury, along with IRS, they're the ones that are going to be looking at all the money that went through these wire transfer services overseas to places like Somalia, places like Kenya, Turkey, throughout the Middle East, Dubai. They're going to be looking at every single one of these transactions to follow and see where this money went, because for one thing, obviously, it's horrible in and of itself to have the fraud. It's also horrible, Chris, to have the fraud being sent, our taxpayer money, overseas. And then on top of that, you're going to layer on the possibility of some terrorist financing activity. This is really terrifying stuff, and it needs to be cleaned up, and they got of it. I know they've only had about a week, but it's huge. And I think that this story is not going to be going away. And look, it all kind of circles back to what did the politicians that were there at the time know? To your point, how does it affect Minnesota's economy going forward? I think it's fair to say, yeah, a lot of people don't really want to do business with them under the circumstances. But I still keep going back to, that great day that Timmy Waltz told us he was fixing his flag, right? And they took down the old Minnesota flag and they put up the new one that had a striking resemblance, oddly, to Somalia. And then we learned that the district involved in this, the 5th district, is the district that Ilhan Omar represents. I got a lot of questions, a lot.
Yeah, she's out over the weekend saying that, oh, yeah, we've known about this kind of stuff for a long time. And people are starting to ask questions. Wait a minute. Who is this we? You got a mouse in your pocket? You mean you've known about this fraud for a long time, Miss Omar? Trish Regan, thank you very much. Folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.